Thank you very much, Dr. Satoru, for sharing that insight. Now we move on to our next news. Israel has expressed regret over an IDF strike that killed 3 civilians in Gaza's only Catholic church, following a sharp rebuke from U.S. President Donald Trump. In a statement from the Prime Minister's office, Israel called the incident a tragedy and said it deeply regrets that stray ammunition hit the Holy Family Church in Gaza City. The statement came after Trump phoned the Israeli leader to express anger over the strike, which the White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt confirmed at the press conference. Now, let's hear what the White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt had to say.
It was not a positive reaction. He called Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning to address the strikes on that church in Gaza, and I understand the Prime Minister agreed to put out a statement. It was a mistake by the Israelis to hit that Catholic church. That's what the Prime Minister relayed to the President, and you should look at the Prime Minister's statement that will be.
Moreover, Israel also thanked Pope Leo for his words of comfort after the pontiff offered condolences to families affected and called again for a ceasefire without directly condemning Israel. Now we're joined by Peter Baum. He's a foreign editor at Weekly Blitz, joining us live from London. Thank you, Peter, for joining us today. Good to see you. How does Israel... Thank you. How does Israel respond to international criticism following the strike on Gaza's Holy Family Church?
With humbleness, with apologies, with every possible means at their disposal to tell the world that this act was indeed an accident, and accidents happen in war. And it's just a further embarrassment for the Netanyahu government and for the Israeli military. It clearly seems that this was an accident, and there was no way that they were meant to do this on purpose. And of course, the publicity surrounding this horrible act has gone global and gives yet another excuse for Israel's opponents to further criticize and demonize her. But Israel has to own up to the fact, has to apologize, as I've said, has to be very humble, and can do no more than that and try and get her publicity machine rolling in order to convince her opponents and the media that this was horrible. The fact that the response from the Vatican was, what shall we say, muted, is quite encouraging for Israel and her supporters. But nevertheless, she will continue to gain criticism for the next 24, 48 hours, and her opponents will try to whip up the frenzy of demonization that Israel is quite used to. But at this particular case, being a Catholic church, and where millions of Catholics worldwide will be very sympathetic to those in Gaza, Israel could ill afford to have yet another horrific accident embarrass her like this one has done.
We appreciate your insight, Peter. Please stay with us as we move on to our next news. Top